So today for us, Nilda will do a speech about being brave in the face of fear and how we can control it. She will explore how fear can stop us from speaking up in our desire to grow our business relationships and our careers. Also discuss with us the tips for managing fear, because when our dreams are big, fear can compete for attention. Nilda Renaldo on being brave in the face of fear. Can we control it?
Thank you very much, Despina. Hello, everyone. It's a sheer pleasure to be with you today here. So tonight, we're going to do this in several parts. The first will be an interactive session, okay? So I'm going to ask you to write something down. So I hope you have paper and pen nearby. The second part we'll do is explore the ways in which fear shows up, right? And how we can identify it, okay? And then lastly, I'll offer a remedy, a suggestion, tried and true by yours truly. And then it's up to you to compare and maybe send me a note on LinkedIn and let me know how it goes for you. So let's dive in. Okay, do any of you know what this is? Any wild guesses in the picture?
Pom pom. That's the tail of a rabbit.
Aha! Pom-pom, tail of a rabbit. What else?
A hairy ball. A hairy ball.
A hairy ball. Who said that?
Me.
Who's me? What's your name?
Maria Linares, sorry. Yeah.
Ah, yes. You are absolutely right. Okay, everybody is right. Okay, but this is a big hairy ball. I'm going to ask you to write on your paper a big hairy goal, big furry goal, which means the wildest goal you have ever imagined. In Despina's case, for example, she said 300,000 clubs. In my book, that's a hairy goal. A hairy goal is synonymous of an ambitious goal. So go for it. Write down your wildest goal. Don't censor. Don't look at what's possible or not. I see Miss Hairy Ball herself making faces. Don't make faces. Don't judge it. Just write it down. If it's 1, 2, or 3, doesn't matter. Give you a couple of minutes for that. Don't think about it. Just write it down. The moment you start thinking, that's the moment you're stopping your hairy ball from rolling. Yes. Okay. Just give me a thumbs up when you're done writing down your hairy goal. Yeah? Brilliant. Okay. Now, as you look at your big hairy goal or goals, ask yourself, what makes this impossible? What makes it impossible? And you can write it down next to the goal. Or alternatively, is what's scary about that goal? Okay, and then give me a thumbs up when you're done with that, okay? So thumbs up, everybody, yes? Okay, now look at your list, okay? Both sides. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we will have the remedy for you to be able to face the fear and be brave and actually go through with your goal. Is that something you'd like to do? Yeah? Thumbs up? If you don't, it's okay too. You can say it. Might as well be clear from the beginning. Yeah? Okay. Oof, everyone's on board. Good. Now, here's a question for you. When you look at that list, there are 3 types of fears, right? There's the fear of rejection, the fear of success, believe it or not, and the fear of failure, simply, okay? So on your list, do any of these 3 fit? Is it a fear of failure, a fear of success, or a fear of failure? Rejection, failure, or success? Now, I'd like to see with a show of hands, who's got mostly fear of failure? Yeah. Fear of rejection? Fear of success? Yeah. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, I can't see everyone's face, but interestingly enough, there was quite a few of fear of success, right? I've heard many times from my students who tell me, Nilda, but what happens if I actually succeed, right? Because we've grown so comfortable with defending our limitations, right? Defending how we cannot speak in public, defending how we cannot socialize because we are shy, defending reasons why we cannot approach someone that we particularly like and want to have a relationship with. The best reasons for not picking up the phone and developing our businesses, right? So we're so attached to what we can't do that when we're offered the possibility of being able to do, we go into panic mode. Right? Does any of this sound familiar? Yes? Okay. Normally, if you are in the 21st century and have endured the past 2 years of the pandemic, you have experienced fear, right? Because it's been all over in the news, within our families, everywhere in our neighborhoods. Fear has been very present. Okay. My question is, can we control it? Can we control something as big as fear? Now, what triggers? The best friend of fear is anxiety, right? And it shows up when we have new and unknown situations, whether it be a new topic, a new environment, okay? Today, ever since Pantelis and Despina and Elena asked me to come in, of course, the first thing I had was, oh no, I'm going to speak, right? And at the same time, I was excited. Yes, I'm going to speak, right? Now, for our brains, chemically speaking, it's the same chemical output, okay? Fear and excitement are exactly the same in our brains. How we interpret that, what we do with that is our job, okay? Like we said, the risk of failure, rejection, and success. What else triggers anxiety, in your opinion? right? We have the possibility of appearing foolish, the possibility of losing skin, right? And this can show up with a fast heartbeat. It could show up with butterflies in the stomach, right? So that feeling, right? The uncontrollable shakes, lightheadedness, dizziness, all of this is synonymous of fear. It is also, I repeat, synonymous of excitement. If you don't believe me, just go on a roller coaster. Who's been on a roller coaster lately? Ever in your life, have any of you gone on a roller coaster? Yes, yes. If not, you need to live a little, guys. If not, it means that fear is taking too much space. So roller coasters, it's exactly the same thing, right? You're excited, you can't wait. Your heart is beating very fast, the butterflies in your stomach, uncontrollable shakes. You get off of that roller coaster, you're lightheaded, you're dizzy, the same thing. The only difference is that after you come off of that roller coaster ride, you want to get back on, right? It was so exciting and so scary. Next slide, please. Right. So tonight we are here, now that we have said how it manifests and what the consequences are, let's look at how to manage that. How do we manage it so that fear doesn't interrupt our big, hairy ball from rolling? How do we get those 300,000 clubs without thinking twice? So first, we look at the experience, right? So we practice the situation in front of the mirror. Now, I believe, hopefully, you know of a fairy tale of a infamous queen who would every day look in the mirror and ask the mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Yes, do you know this? Does it sound familiar? What do you think she was doing? What do you think she was doing, this queen? Any guesses? What was she doing in front of that mirror?
Cheering herself.
She was, yes, she was reassuring herself, right? Well, we won't say what happened when the mirror said it wasn't her anymore, but in any case, it was working and she was very powerful, right? The mirror is your best friend. Practice the situation. Next point that we would do is rehearse. Rehearse, which is very similar to practicing in front of the mirror. So the mirror is you and you. Rehearsing in front of family and friends is the community that you're with. For us in Toastmasters, we have the fortune of being able to practice our situations, right, in a community of benevolent people who look out for our best. Third point, we give presentations everywhere, whether it's outside in the garden, whether it's by the beach, whether it's with other groups, whether it's with children. Children are excellent. If your message is clear with a child, it's clear for anyone. Now that we've done the experience, how else do we manage fear? We visualize, very connected, very much connected to the mirror, right? Except this time, what you're doing is you are practicing, you are seeing yourself in that successful situation. What do I mean by this? I mean that fear is a powerful force to be reckoned with, right? Fear, it's almost like when you can't sleep at night and it's about 3, 4 a.m. and you've got these amazing ideas of how awful the next day is going to turn out. Has that ever happened to any of you? Yes, right? You can't sleep. You're imagining the worst case scenario. This time I invite you to imagine the best case scenario. Is it an interview? Is it a business development call? Is it a presentation? Is it a corporate visit with investors? Practice successful situations. See it before it actually happens. Next thing we would do is relax, right? We have practiced with our best friend, the mirror, our friends and community. We have visualized a successful situation, and then we relax. We relax knowing that we are on fire, right? So we shake it all up. We move in all directions. We dance if we have to. Do we have any salsa dancers here? Yes, we relax. We breathe. We breathe. It sounds really silly and old, and you've probably heard it 10,000 times, but I promise you it works. Before coming, I breathed. I've been breathing since this morning. Inhale, exhale, and I'm as good as new right now. And I feel like I'm feeling very comfortable in front of you today. Next slide, please. To conclude, okay, I will say that if you look at your list of goals and things that prevent it from actually happening, just tell yourself it's normal. Fear cannot be controlled. Fear cannot be controlled unless you visualize the best possible situation, you practice in front of your mirror, you breathe, and you tell yourself, being afraid is part of life. What is not part of life is preventing that hairy ball from rolling, preventing the fear to stop you in your tracks. Second thing you can't do is don't justify. Don't argue for your fear. Don't defend your fear, okay? If you can't, oh no, I can't make that phone call to develop my business. No. Don't tell the person that you're talking to that you're afraid. You tell yourself, you tell the person, you fake it till you make it. Don't justify. I won't tell if you don't. And lastly, do something scary every single day. I can only wish for you a roller coaster ride in every single thing you undertake in your life. Because remember, the chemical output for fear is the same as excitement. Have an exciting life, an exciting year, exciting goals.
So thank you very much, Nilda. That was definitely very, very interesting and helpful for many of us, either if we are in a business environment or in our personal ones. And definitely going to try it to achieve my goals. So whether there are any questions, could you please raise your hand? Yes, Nadia, would you like to go first? So you first.
Hi, thank you very much for this nice presentation. I have One question. What if you try it? What if you fake it, but you finally don't make it? Is it possible that this discourages you and then never try it again? Because I'm having second thoughts. Okay, I'm trying it, I'm faking it, but when I don't have a positive result, and it's a reality, it's not an imagination, not even a visualization.
Okay. Nadia, very good point. What happens when you continue to fake it till you make it? Now, what I didn't mention, which I'm glad you're giving me the opportunity of mentioning now, is that fear has, I would say, a nemesis, right? The nemesis of fear is belief. Okay. So what does that mean? That means that I go back to the image of the queen, that evil queen who is very powerful. Okay. Very powerful. She had the capacity of becoming a dragon and all that good stuff. Okay. But she believed. Okay. She believed. So even if she failed, because remember, she failed, this queen believed no matter how many times she failed, she believed. She was possessed with something bigger than herself. Okay. So whether it is a business development call that you're making, whether it is signing up for a dating app on Bumble, I don't know, whether it is doing a presentation, you have to believe, right? First. Secondly, visualize the success, right? That is how you become unstoppable. Because fear, if you fail once, you fail twice, every time you get up and face that situation, guess what? You are perfecting your skill as you go. But that goal, that big, hairy goal, you have to believe in it. You have to see that goal. You have to imagine yourself playing with that ball, taking it for a ride, having your friends hop on, right? Do you see what I mean? Does that make sense, Nadia?
Yes, it makes sense. Although something that fears me is that, okay, when you do it once and you fail, especially in a public speech, this is a very traumatic experience. So how can you find the courage to do this again? And maybe this is more difficult to overcome the second time. I'm speaking from my experience, as you can imagine.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, Nadia, are you a member of Toastmasters?
A very, very new member.
Aha! So, first of all, congratulations for taking the step. Okay. Acknowledge the big step that you've made, right? So you tap yourself on the back and you say, yes, that hairy goal is coming closer. It's coming closer and closer. You're surrounding yourself with people who are looking out for you, okay? Who will give you feedback and make sure that you succeed next time you do your presentation. In my book, you're in very good hands here, right? Because you're getting the feedback, and that is very scary to get the feedback. Okay, that was my issue when I first started. I was afraid of the feedback, right? The perfectionist in me did not want to hear that no matter how hard I tried doing my speeches, that there was still work to do, right? So your ego will, take a few blows, but you will also be uplifted with a great community, an amazing network where you can really fine tune your speaking. And that speaking will have a ripple effect in the rest of your life. your personal, your professional, the way you speak to yourself, right?
They say, especially for leadership and management, that, hey, try to have tangible goals. Because if you reach then a tangible goal, you feel good, you have this hormones of happiness and say, hey, I feel good about it, let's go to another one, another one, another one. Because maybe if you have this big hairy ball and you don't really reach, disappointment might come in, and then it might intimidate your further trying. So it's a kind of a different approach, this one. How would you comment?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. The scary thing about big, hairy goals is that, again, first we think how we cannot reach it, right? So you are absolutely right in if the goal is paralyzing you in the fear of accomplishing it, okay? Because there are different types of people, right? There are people who love that challenge. The hairier, the better, right? The harder I have to work, but it's a different composition. If that is not your case, then you break it down, absolutely. And I would add, you celebrate. I insist on the celebrating. Once you've broken it down into small chunks, celebrate the passage from one step to the next. Why? Because it's going to tell your brain, yes, I can do this. Piece of cake. All right, let me do some more, right? So you're constantly sending your brain the message, it's okay, because your brain actually is looking for safety. It's okay, we're in this together. I've broken it down to make it manageable, but we've got this. But celebrating is extremely important.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So thank you very much, Nilda. Thank you for inspiring us and giving us the tools to succeed in any goal.